The first time I saw the concrete, I honestly thought it was a mistake. I was walking the lower part of my property, following the creek like I had done 100 times before. It wasn't a big creek, more like a steady natural channel that cut through the land, feeding into a larger waterway further down. Nothing dramatic, but it mattered. It had always mattered. That's why what I saw didn't make sense at first. Gray, smooth, solid, right where flowing water was supposed to be. I stopped at the edge and just stared for a second, because someone hadn't just dumped debris. They had poured concrete directly into the creek bed, section after section, like they were trying to force the water into a new path, or worse, stop it entirely. The HOA development uphill had been expanding aggressively. New homes, new roads, new landscaping projects. They'd been reshaping everything to fit their design, flattening land, redirecting runoff, improving drainage, as they liked to call it. I'd gotten letters before, suggestions about coordinating natural water flow, requests to align creek structure with community standards. I ignored them, because you don't align a natural creek, you leave it alone. Apparently they didn't agree. I followed the concrete upstream and it got worse. Entire sections sealed, water forced into narrow gaps, pressure building where it shouldn't, and that's when it clicked. They weren't just modifying it, they were trying to control it, redirect it away from their development, which meant all that water had to go somewhere else. I pulled out my phone and took photos, videos, everything. Then I made a few calls, not angry ones, just the right ones. Environmental office first, county second, then a specialist who understood exactly what happens when you interfere with natural water flow. Because here's the thing about creeks, they don't stop, they adapt, and when you block them, they push back hard. The reports took a little time, but not long. Within a couple of weeks, everything was documented. Unauthorized modification of a natural waterway, improper redirection of runoff, violation of environmental regulations, and most importantly, long-term instability risk. But by then, the HOA had already moved forward with their plan. The houses went up, big ones, luxury builds. Clean lines, perfect landscaping, everything designed to look flawless, right on top of the area they thought they had fixed. I didn't say anything, didn't go over there, didn't argue, because this wasn't something you win with words. This was something time handles for you. The first heavy rain came about 3 months later. Not a storm, just steady, consistent rain over a couple of days, the kind that soaks into everything. I walked down to the creek again and I could already see it. Water pushing against the concrete barriers, finding cracks, seeping through weak points, then carving new paths around them because it had to. That's what water does. It doesn't ask permission. It just moves. Over the next few weeks, the signs started showing up. Subtle at first. A shift in the soil, small depressions where the ground had been solid, then cracks, driveways that didn't sit level anymore, patios with slight dips that hadn't been there before, and then the real problems. One of the homes developed a visible tilt, not dramatic, but enough that you could see it if you stood back and looked. Then another, because the ground beneath them wasn't stable anymore. All that redirected water had been slowly saturating the soil, undermining the foundation, softening everything from the inside out, and the concrete in the creek, it didn't stop it. It made it worse. Because instead of flowing naturally, the water built pressure, found new paths, and those paths